Svana took up the scroll and wound the wooden spools to read. Nature, resource base, abstract, objective perspective. The development of objective perspective is at the core of the rational consideration available to guide the reflective entity in its allocation of manipulative energy. Objective perspective is the intentional result of rational consideration employed to transcend base subjective intent. The development of objective perspective is the development of the ability of the reflective organism to comprehend the value structure of influences within the environment, to understand its own purpose within the intent of the unified macro environment. It also makes an increased rate of evolution possible within specific micro contexts. If the specific evolution is aligned to the intent of the overall environment, then the increased rate of evolution may benefit the positive manifestation of potential. Once the rational faculty has attended itself to regulate the power of subjective manipulation sufficiently to develop a secure situation over time, then the rational faculty may attend itself to the consideration of the influential forces behind different representations of subjective intent. The rational faculty alone is sufficient to govern behavior to the extent of the immediate clear interests of the physical organism. This is enough to prevent a certain degree of disruption to its environment, including itself and that which it relies on. In effect, at its most basic level, the rational faculty allows increased efficiency in the pursuit of the subjective intent. In the process of beginning to serve the subjective intent, the rational faculty soon comprehends the immediate outlines of interconnectedness and reliance. This realization itself is the first step in the rational faculty's appreciation of its role as a governance mechanism. The key recognition is in the rational appreciation that the pursuit of the subjective intent requires the consideration that, within the macrocosm of the subjective intent, different microcosms of intent exist and must be balanced in their influence to achieve the desired result, the overall subjective intent, the pursuit of the organism's interests as a whole. The more the rational faculty considers these different interests, its sensitivity may broaden to recognize such interests outside of itself and to value those interests accordingly. This includes macro factors within the environment, factors whose effects may not attend themselves in the present, but rather in the future, in the experience of the rational faculty's generational progeny. The rational faculty is thus what allows, in respect of consideration for desired environmental manipulation, the transcendence of the limitations of immediate temporal existence. The rational faculty is the foundation required to consider the needs of the organism projected into the future. The foundations of objective perspective are in the ability of the rational faculty to guide the organism according to interests that are steps removed from its immediate apparent subjective interests. The moment the rational faculty requires a compromise of the immediate subjective interests of the organism, its governance according to objective consideration has begun.